I'm your host, Wallace Senegal, along with my co-host, Keith Falk. Keep 'em dancing, Keith Falk. We're supposed to have a guest on this morning, and I guess when you get here, we'll be into the show. But this morning, we're going to do a little Black history, since it's Black History Month, and the month has gone by fast. But like I said all the time, we like to start off our show with a prayer. So let me see, could I get the prayer warrior on so we could get busy and have the rest of things going. I sure hope y'all had a good Mardi Gras, enjoying the nice weather that we're having out here. And I want to thank you for allowing us to come into your home, to your eyes, to your heart, and to your ears. With that, we're going to try to get the show going on.
Good morning to all our viewing audience out there. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday so far. This morning, we got an interesting show. We're going to try to catch up on some things we haven't talked about, haven't introduced, and try to get some updates on some things we have been talking about. Also, we're going to do a couple of Black History tributes.
Yes. Another thing, too, before I get the prayer warrior on the phone, we don't talk about a lot of things that we should be talking about as far as our history goes, as far as the things that we need to get going in our communities, So
good morning.
Good morning. Ruby, how's everything going with you this morning?
Everything is going wonderful, sweetie.
All right.
I have a couple of listeners that's here, extra listeners. They wanted to hear the word as well.
Okay, good. Well, the word is always good to hear because that's why I always call you to ignite our spirit,
And mine as well, sweetie.
I hear you, baby girl.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready.
So, but here's I chose this one for us today. The word is, God is speaking that time with me cannot be rushed. When you are in a hurry, your mind filters back and forth between me and the task ahead of you. Push back the demands pressing on you. Create a safe space around you. When you trust in me, you create a safe space. I also desire this time of focused attention, and I use it to bless you, strengthening and equipping you for the day ahead. Thus, spending time with me is a wise investment. Bring the sacrifice of your precious time. This creates sacred space around you, space permitted with my presence and my peace. This can be found in Psalms 119, verse 27, Chronicles 16, verse 9, and Hebrews 13 and verse 15.
All right. Appreciate you. Lovely prayer.
Sorry for the bundle, but the listeners got loud.
Yeah. Well, I see my guest is trying to get in. So yes. We'll talk later. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I know we said that we was going to take some time to dedicate a few minutes to Black history. Before we start talking about our history, let's not forget the African American Heritage Parade is this Sunday, and I think it starts at 3 o'clock. Or 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, and it will roll
Where?
down Martin Luther King Memorial
In,
Parkway.
At AOC? No.
So,
Okay, all right. All right.
I want to talk a little bit about the neighborhoods first. Neighborhood which they are calling it a different name. They're calling it the neighborhood Laplace. It's not Laplace.
It's Fightingville.
It is Fightingville, and it is the one of the oldest African American neighborhoods in the Lafayette area. Also, you have the Trumore Edition. There's another one of those first African American neighborhoods that was there. And they taking over, changing the name of the neighborhoods through coteries and
some kind of name they trying to change it, you know. But this is the thing: we allow people to come in our neighborhood and change things like they changing their code, you know. And the thing of it is, the history of the block is no longer there, you know. They're putting houses up on it now, where it used to be, as far as I'm concerned, Little Black Wall Street, because anything you wanted, you could have got in that neighborhood of the block, you know. And I don't understand it, why everybody want to change the name of a place that been named by African American, blacks, Negroes, or whatever, you know. But it'll never change for me. It'll always be Fightingville. And when I get around the grandkids and the nieces and things like this here, I tells them about it, you know. And this is the thing we got to start doing, talking about our history. Don't just leave it.
And this is the thing I want to iterate too. We got to stop letting the other side rewrite our history,
right,
or tear down our history
to fit them.
There's one nightlife entertainment business left in that area, and I think it's the longest standing, and it's a facility that my grandparents, my great grandparents, probably just about everybody's great grandparents probably
had
went
something to do
through,
with it.
and we need that facility to stay up because it's part of our history. Also, with dealing with Black history, there's good sides, you know. Everybody seems to talk about the good sides and bring out the good sides of it, but there's also the bad sides is what they call critical race theory.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the other side called critical race theory, where it was all good. I seen a photo on social media where they had the African American woman breastfeeding the Caucasian child.
Yeah.
But yet, at that same time, a Caucasian and a African American couldn't drink in the same water fountain as the Caucasian.
Same water fountain.
As the Caucasian.
Yeah, same water fountain. They had to get off the sidewalk. All kind of things, man, that went on in our history. Another thing, I want to mention Ms. Janelle Shagwar. You know, she's a part of this history that coming up with the Heritage Parade, the things that she used to do as far as the kids, school supply drive, all the good things. You know, she ran a radio, she managed a radio station, and she had a talk show that was awesome. always bringing the good news to you. So,
And I want to say this about Miss Janelle Shagway. She paved the way for a lot of things. She paved the way for a lot of people, a lot of kids. She had
we got a call coming in.
the band, the School of Arts at San Antoine Elementary.
Hang on 1 minute, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Caller,
Good morning, caller.
good morning.
Good morning, guys. Having a great show like I have every Friday. Being that you talk about Janelle and the parade,
I
you saw
was,
when this clown, or you heard about this clown, want to make a bill or for parade people to start charging them to clean up the streets after. And who do you think that's gonna hurt?
us.
Those parades like that, like Sunday, Martin Luther King parade. You know, every little small entity, not Mardi Gras. He's not talking about Mardi Gras because Mardi Gras already they done got this stuff together. That's been, like I said, I'm gonna just say, I ain't gonna say my age. I'm in the 70s, and I've never heard nobody want to charge a parade crew to clean up after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you want to try to pass a bill for people to do that. That's he don't have anything. He should get out. If he don't have anything better to do,
You out front?
he should just
Okay, I'm coming.
excuse himself out of that road. You know, that's a stupid stuff. But to say he passed that, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. I'm with you, caller, on that. That's just like the Martin Luther King parade. They canceled the Martin Luther King parade for this year, and the other parades still roll. Mardi Gras, Festival International still gonna roll. The Greek festivals, all the festivals still roll. They didn't talk about canceling none of the festivals because of safety. I mean, it's all a tactic to downplay African American history. You know.
Yeah, you're right. But I think it's part of our fault and the people that was given the Martin Luther King activity at the King Center. They knew about it, and they should have put it out there for us to know. But they let us know after the fact. Because everybody was waiting for the parade, and it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was the bad part.
Okay.
I see y'all got a gift for me. Y'all keep up the good work and keep informing those. I'm gonna call it the Hub City. That they don't never call it. When it's on this side of town, they call it the Hub City. When it's on the other side, they call it Acadiana. So
Yeah.
all right, guys.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Uh-huh.
Now we could get into the show. You know, I want to welcome our guest this morning. You know, I think we had our little communication mixed up for a minute, but he got here. I want to say good morning to you. But we got Marshall Reginald Thomas.
Yeah, we got to say good morning to Lafayette City Marshal
Yeah.
Reginald Thomas. Well, he's part of that Black history we was talking about earlier.
Yeah, he's the first. You know, I hope he don't be the last. I wish I could have got him on as the chief of police, but you know, is appointed. But that's what we keep saying. Let's try to get us an elected chief. And if we had an elected chief, he wouldn't be the city marshal.
It's no problem.
He'd be the chief of police, you know. So, but I want to say good morning and welcome to you. I felt this was necessary for us to get you on the program today, which is Community Matter, because you did so much wonderful thing since you've been in office. I know, in the marshal's office, you know, and I like that, you know. I was helping him get in the office, you know, and he made me proud for elder. You know, he made me proud because he took the bull by the horn and he's stirring it, you know. I like the way he have all his deputy cars clean. They're not riding around all raggedy and things like this here, which Nikki Picard did a good job too. And Nikki Picard endorsed him, and I think he's doing a wonderful job in the footstep of the marshal's office. And I appreciate you for that.
Well, let me say this: how much I appreciate both these guys are sitting here. I appreciate them. When you run for office, one of the things you got to realize is that people will tell you a lot of things about they're with you, they're not with you, or whatever the case may be. But it takes people that believe in you to actually come out there with you and walk with you and talk and help you out. And these two gentlemen, I want to say thank you to both gentlemen, because both of them, you know, it's so funny. I tell a story about when I was elected, and one of the things that happened was we went to we had our party, which was the party to say that I had won the election, you know, the last party, and both these two gentlemen was there. And I would tell you that I had very limited people at that particular party because a lot of people did not believe that it could be done. But I can talk about Wallace the whole show because I called Wallace almost day one. And when I talked to him, he asked me a few questions and he said, you know what, you can win. And, you know, one of the things that I needed at that time was encouragement, because everybody I talked to was saying an African-American cannot win a citywide election. It never happened before. It can never happen. So, but this just goes to show you that if you work hard, do the things you're supposed to do. And I tell everybody this: be qualified. You know, don't go there saying that I want to be a marshal, I want to do this, and have no type of background to do that particular job. So I think I brought a lot to the table, and I think now you're seeing a lot coming you're seeing us do a lot of things because I have a vision for the marshal's office, and my vision is in reference to the community. You know, one of the things people tell me is like, before you got there, you never heard anything about the marshal's office. You know, it was always the sheriff's office or the city police. But now we are relevant, and now we're at the MLK Center. We're cooking. We're working with the kids. And the latest thing I did, if you noticed, was the charter schools. We put SROs in the charter school. Never been done by any marshal's office before. You know, but it's things that I'm doing that I see that's a need. You know, we had 1,500 kids at that charter school. They got the new high school and they have the middle school. It's close to the interstate. You know, this city and the parents, you know, if something would happen at that school, then everybody will be looking at each other and say, why didn't somebody step up? Well, I stepped up, and we're at the charter school. We're mentoring. We're doing some wonderful things over there, and you'll be seeing that in the future.
Okay. You know, that's why I say I don't visit you too much, but I pass. I see the cars rolling around.
I can vouch for that. He's out there feeding the community because I done tried some of that good jambalaya.
Oh yeah. You know, you done things for the elder. You know, like I said, you made me proud of you. You know, to become the first African American city marshal, however they want to put it, black marshal. You know, and if we ever get it on the books where you could become chief of police, I would love for you to run for that. But if you're doing good in the marshal office, stay there. You know. So and now, you know, I see you got some paperwork. Tell me what you got planned for the future of the marshal office and the citizen of Lafayette.
Well, one thing I did, I just brought some notes of just different things that we're doing, you know, and I talked briefly about the SRO program, which is very important. You know, I believe that especially the charter schools, they're going to be growing, and, you know, we started an SRO program, and we intend to continue that SRO program and to be in school. You know, my whole job is to make sure that our citizens are safe, and kids, our babies, have to be safe.
Safe, yeah.
And I think that's probably the biggest thing. Is if anybody have kids, you know, you want to be able to go to work and say, we have a police officer at that school protecting my kids, and you can sleep, you know.
Well, you're a part of law enforcement.
That's it.
Yeah, you're a part of law enforcement, and whatever the city police can't do, you could do. Whatever the sheriff can't do, you could do. You know, so that's what I like about you. You know how to interact with all the law enforcement entities.
Yeah, we have to be relevant, and that's something I felt that the marshal's office was not doing. They were not relevant. You know, you think about this marshal's office. You know, they were in trouble when I took over. You know, we had a marshal that was actually indicted, and when that happens, the whole agency goes down. So it was my job to pick them up. You know, I don't even say that marshal's name no more because it's not relevant. Because Marshal Reggie Thomas is relevant now.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and what happens is when you're doing a good job, when nobody even mentions that name. When I came in, that's all people was talking about. Now people are talking about what we're doing in industry, you know, and we're doing everything from grants is another thing. When I took over, I wrote grants at the police department. So I formed a grant team, myself and two other marshals, and we wrote several grants already. You know, we have grants for bulletproof vests. We have grants for CALIA accreditation, which you'll see we will be getting accredited within this year. You know, and accreditation is something that there is no marshal office in Louisiana that's accredited, and you have to meet certain standards, and you have to be really a great agency to even be considered.
Right.
And you'll see in the near future that we will be getting accredited, and that's something that I'm really proud of. And I understand that it's things that we had to do to get this off our back. You know, the indictment, the how people look at the marshal's office.
Yeah, well,
you know,
I know. Not to cut you off, I know you do have diversity in the marshal's office.
Oh, yeah, you see that, huh?
Yeah, you do have diversity.
Diversity has changed a lot in the marshal's office. I will tell you, when I took over, we have 26 deputies, and I think we had 2 people of color at the marshal's office. Now it's at least 50-50. At least 50-50. One of the things I find, even with the police department, that's a major problem is diversity. Okay, you should have you should mirror what your community look like. In Lafayette, it should be 33%. In Lafayette City Police, you might have 11%. And the problem is not just that 11%, you have to have diversity in leadership positions. And that's the biggest problem. When you don't have it in leadership position and everybody you have are low-ranking officers, well, you're not doing anything.
Right.
So I strongly believe in that. And remember, when I was the chief, the interim chief, and I was the deputy chief, we had the highest ever. We went up to 22%. And that's saying a lot because you have to recruit. And like we know, a lot of people of color do not like to be police at this particular time with all the stuff that's going on.
Oh, yeah. Plenty.
Yes, so things constantly is happening, but you have to have that aspect of somebody who can recruit. So if I would put somebody in recruiting, somebody of color, or at least to be a part of recruiting, you know? And when we say somebody of color, especially in law enforcement, of course we're talking about black, but we talk about Hispanic, you know, so it's our community. You have to mirror the community, and you have to be in that community. And you know, community. You know about the Community Relations Board. We haven't been meeting. One of the things that I did when I took over was I brought everybody together: the sheriff, myself, and the chief. We all sat at the board. You know. And when you do that, everybody have different ideas. So what happened is the other agencies wanted time to look at, you know, what we was doing, you know, was it going in the right direction, and this and that. My deal was the Community Relations Board is not meant to sit in an office. Okay, and if you notice, you know, I'll do cooking or we'll go do the walks and stuff like that. We do not want to just sit in the office. Well, it's been several months now, and we haven't been able to get it back started. So in the future, you'll see us get it back started. And if not, with the other two agencies, which I would love the other two agencies to be a part, then sometimes you got to take the task on by yourself.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You know,
And when
you
somebody
must see that.
when they see you coming and how you're doing it, they might want to join you.
Yeah,
you know.
you probably will see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because we cannot. I think it's too important because when I was the chief over there, one of the things that the community relation board brought was trust. And when you get trust, then you can solve crimes.
Yeah.
Then people come to you and tell you things that happen or things that's going to
Gonna
happen.
happen.
And that's what's so very important. A lot of times we don't know what's going to happen until afterwards, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then when it happens, do you have the right personnel to stop it? You know, if you have a shooting that happens and you don't get intelligence or information on it, then guess what? You're going to have retaliation. When you have retaliation, then somebody else going to die.
Yeah.
So you cannot just put anybody as a leader of an agency and think everything's going to work out. You know, I call it the honeymoon. It's going to work out for 6 months.
Yeah,
After the
yeah.
6 months, when something serious happens,
Yeah.
you're going to see it's
Yeah.
going to be a problem.
Yeah, well, like I said, I can't express it enough how I like the way you run in the marshal's office. You know, you're always in the community. I met you in the community before I even knew you. You know.
Yes, yes.
And ever since I met you in the community, you've been a community person. You know, you don't have none of your officers just riding around doing nothing. You know, like I say, I like the way they keep their cars clean. You know, that's important to
Yes.
organization. You know, because if you go into the community and your car is all dirty, people don't have respect for you for some reason or another, you know? So this is what makes it nice. So, okay, what else you got planned for the marshal's office?
Well, one of the things is we talked about Black History Month, you know, and we look around our city and we see different leaders. We see people starting to run for office and things like
Yeah.
that. You know, we have the first Black city judge.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and I like to think that look, myself, you, and you know, we're a part of having that because once it happened one time, you know,
It's
they
gonna
keep
keep
saying
on
I was the first. And one of the things I always talk about by being the first, you know, and I tell people this all the time. It's a shame that I was the first,
yeah.
because it's not like I was the only one ever qualified. You know, it shows that I was the one that benefit from other people trying to be marshal or other people doing things.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll tell anybody, and I try to encourage people because I tell people that look, people tell me, you know, I'm thinking about running for this. Well, do it. Do
Yeah.
it. Don't think about it.
Right.
Do it because if you never know. You might not win that first time, but you might open the door for the next person.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I would like to think that the job that I do and what I'm trying to do, if I get it all accomplished, then people have to look at me and say, you know what? We made the right choice, and now we're not afraid to put somebody of color as a leader of our city. You know, because it's obvious. We all know that somebody of color, or Black, can easily have qualifications and have double the qualifications of other people that get the position. But a lot of times you got to show people.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta show people, and you know, it makes me think about I don't know how much football you watch, but Kansas City, Bieniemy, the
Yeah.
coach, the assistant coach.
Yeah.
He done won 2 championships. He applied for about 25 jobs, and he has never gotten a job. So now he has to go somewhere and be an offensive coordinator, while you get somebody that win 1 Super Bowl and been a coach for 2 years, and he becomes a head coach.
Right,
But
right.
he has to show himself. Well, it's the same here. You know, it's the same. A lot of people watch. A lot of people, you know, look and say, well, a mistake gonna happen. Something gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you that one thing about me, I'm very, very qualified for this position.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I have a vision on where I want to see this office. My vision includes that's doing things differently. I don't look at marshals and say, well, this marshal, this is all a marshal's office can do. You know, we can't do any more. Sorry, we can't do. Well, I have a long law enforcement background, and I understand law enforcement. So I know what my office can do. The law is very clear. The law says that the marshal has the same power as the sheriff within the marshal's jurisdiction.
Right,
It's
right.
just that simple.
Simple.
You know, a lot of people don't want to hear that, and a lot of people say, well, there's a no. That's what the law says. The law is very clear.
Well, let me tell y'all a little story. I was on a committee, and Marshall Thomas had just got in office, and I went to the mayor and told the mayor I wanted him to sit in that committee, you know. So I called Reg. He said, "Oh no, man, I'm not going." I said, "You're not bogarting your way in. You're in there." And he got in there, and because like I told the mayor, I said, "Hey, look, all these law enforcement got to work together, you know, one time or another, you know, maybe not every day, but something's going to come up where they all got to be together. So let's put them all together now. Out Jump Street."
and Wallace, let's talk about this a little more. What came out of that committee? Wallace sat on the committee. I sat on the committee. What came out of that committee was the first black police chief in the history of this Lafayette. So, you know, that shows that if I would not have took Wallace wouldn't have called me and say, "Hey, let's be on this committee," then I wouldn't have been on this committee. Then Wallace would have had one vote.
Yeah.
Then it probably would not have happened.
Right.
You know, so that's what I talk about stepping up.
Right,
You know,
right.
saying that, hey, when somebody give you the opportunity to take that opportunity and to do things for that opportunity.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just glad to have y'all in my corner and
Oh, yeah.
you know, to work with both you guys on many different things. And you know, I'm a phone call away. You call me for anything, I'm there.
Yeah.
But you know, I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he was telling me some of the things that happened, you know, a long time ago and stuff. And I told him, you know, and he was how excited he was for me to have this position. And I told him that, you know, I stand on your shoulders. You know, I strongly believe that if y'all would not open the door for me, then I would not be sitting here. So guess what? I will be opening the doors for anybody. That's why I like to mentor kids. That's why I like to talk to kids, because I like to show them, you know, when I go talk at a school, I wear all my gold and have my stars and everything else, because I want you to look at me and say, you know what? He looks like me. He comes from the same background as me. And I can be right where he's at.
Right.
If not doing something bigger. So that's what we want to do, and that's what we want to push. And in my position, you will see me continue to push that. I never turn down any time somebody asks me to have to talk to kids or have any type of conversations with mentoring or motivating kids. Then I'm all about that.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to talk about is I started a renewal program. I call it. What happened when I took over office at City Court is misdemeanors. What was happening is they was charging all these kids. You know, they'll have a fight in school or something would happen and they would get charged with a charge. And then their parents have to pay $500 or their parents have to take them to community service and stuff like that. Well, the problem, it was falling on the parents. It wasn't falling on the kids. The kids wasn't paying anything. So what we did is I got with the Boys and Girls Club and we started an 8-week program. And an 8-week program, once a week, they would come to my office and the Boys and Girls Club would give instructors and we would work with them. And after 8 weeks, they then graduate from that particular class, and their record is expunged. The parents don't have to pay any fines, and you know, we talk up to them about success. We talk to them about diversity. We talk to them about motivation, about doing different things that. For the community and you know, just trying to motivate them to say, hey, go this way, you know. So to me, it's giving them a chance. You know, it's taking that off their record.
1 second. If y'all want to call in, got a question for City Marshal Reginald Thomas, area code 337-347-7236.
And the phone number is on the screen.
Green.
And
Awesome.
Marshall, I know we focusing on your community aspect, but switching gears a little bit. We know you host a show here. The Marshal's office hosts a show here, Holding Accountable. They have the Most Wanted list. As far as it comes to warrants, we know y'all execute warrants. As far as it comes to warrants, what do you want to tell the people to make them feel comfortable and coming into your office and trying to have it recalled or trying to take care of it?
One of the things I like to say, and you'll hear me say this all the time, is arrest is not always the answer. So what I mean by that is that we can work with you. You can pay a fine. We can reset it. You don't have to be arrested or go to jail. So we push that. You can call our office, and you can test me on this. You can call our office and we can reset it. We don't have to make the arrest all the time. You can go back to court, because a lot of that is from people missing court, people having citations that's just not didn't come to court because they didn't have the money to pay the citation. Well, guess what? There's other things that you can do. You can pay installments. We can work with you. Arrest is not always the answer. So I would tell people that don't have that over your head, because it's just a matter of time before you get stopped on a traffic stop, and then you're arrested. You have no options at that time.
And I get arrested on a Saturday.
There you go.
And you can't get to court.
There you go. And I'm telling you that you do have an option, and your option that you have is to contact our office, 291-8725, and just talk to us and say, hey, if you have a warrant, we'll look it up. We'll say, okay, well, if we'll set it back. We'll tell you when to come to court. We'll work with you as long as you're working with us.
Now, Marshall, let me ask you this question. Have you ever thought about putting a work detail for some of these guys that, could pay a fine through work detail?
Yeah, normally the work details is done by the sheriff. It's pretty much, but yes, we have thought of it. That's why I talked about that renewal program. That was one step, one phase of helping the kids get the record expunged, and the parents not to pay the fines. So the next step probably will be some kind of work. But when you do that, you have to have officers out there. So officers on there Saturday or whatever is an overtime thing. So what I don't want to do is make people pay more fines than they have to. So right now the sheriff does something. Parish Proud, Parish Proud, and I should know that because I'm on Parish Proud board, by the way. Parish Proud and myself, we're looking at an option where we can do that with the community to help clean up different areas that need to be cleaned up. So yes, that is something that we are looking at.
I wish they stopped throwing trash out their car.
Yeah, that's an issue. You'll be surprised how much of an issue that is. Or one of the things people hate is when somebody using somebody's dumpster or something like that. You pay for a dumpster and somebody using that dumpster.
Well, I don't mind. Oh, we got another call. Okay, let me answer this call.
And
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys.
Good.
Just want to give I'm gonna call him the Chief Marshal, but he should have been the Chief of Police. I'm gonna give him his flowers while he's living. He's doing a great job, and he was doing a great job when he was acting Chief of Police. They quick to. I don't mind playing the game, and I think he played the game, and then they changed the game. They changed the rules while the game was going on. And,
No, they moved the goalpost. No, they moved the goalpost, caller.
So you was doing a hell of a job. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna still say a hell of a job when you was acting Chief of Police. And I think when whoever told you couldn't make it as Marshal, they knew that you was gonna carry it and keep up the good work. So I just wanted to give you flowers while you living.
Well, I definitely appreciate it.
I'm on your side because I know you have to run again one day. I'll be supporting you.
All right.
All right, Red. Take care.
All right, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
And while we on the subject of when you was acting chief, I know I hear a lot of people talk about it, not in your capacity as Marshal, just in your capacity as Mr. Reggie. What do you think about the makeup of the Civil Service Board?
That is horrible. Let me tell you this about the Civil Service Board. People don't know this. I was the first and only black to be on the civil service board. I was actually on the civil service board. I was elected by my peers during that time. We talk about that our agency should mirror the citizens of this city. Well, the civil service board should too. Right now, the civil service board has, of course, you have the fire and the police. They elect their people, but you know, you should have somebody. By not having anyone of color on that board is just unheard of. And you know, they'll tell you that 2 people from that board have to come from a college, okay, from UL. That, you know, you got to look at the dynamics of that board. One come from the city council, put somebody on there, and the college put 2 people on there. Well, it's a very simple thing. One should be UL and one should be Southern. And if you do that, then you're going to get somebody of color on that board.
Right.
And I think it's so much needed because that board takes officers. You know, this is what being a chief, let me say this, one of the big problems I had with being a chief. I would discipline somebody and might say, okay, you made a bad arrest, you get a 10-day suspension. That person will leave my office and go talk to the civil service rep, and the civil service rep will say, well, I think 10 days too much, I'm going to get you 3 days. Well, they just took your authority away from you. So, and guess what happens at the end of the day? He gets 3 days because they can overturn what the chief does. And I think that is a major problem. And I think it starts with putting somebody of color on the board. It starts with that. And then it starts with the rules and the policies of the civil service board has to be revamped.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
And let's see what else.
Well, you get back.
You know, I brought a couple of things here, and it was my goals and objectives. One of the things that I did when I took over in 21 was I listed goals and objectives. Some of the things I wanted to establish, some of the things that I wanted my agency to look like. And of course, one of the things was we wanted to reorganize the organization. You know, the number one thing for the city marshal is the city court. So we have to secure the city court, and we have to make the city court as safe as possible for the people there, and make sure the judges are safe also. So what I did was I added a supervisor to city court. And the reason for that was city court, you know, a lot of things happen during court time, and the person that was making a decision had another task. He was in civil, so he was working civil training, and he was doing the court. So now we have a supervisor in there. So when something happens, that supervisor can make a decision immediately. He can talk to the judges and make the call at that time. So I think that's one of the things that I put in place that really helped out. You know, I made I changed the structure, added 2 supervisors. You know, when I took over, it was myself, and they had a chief deputy, and that basically was it. But now we have the chief deputy, we have a captain, a lieutenant, and 4 sergeants. You know, and our sergeants are over different, civil warrants, training, and SRO, and court. You know, and that has been done for many reasons, and it makes the structure, the organization runs really good. You know, so we you know, we constantly look for ways where we can get funds in that, you know, that not causing the citizens money for things that I want to do. And one, you know, I spoke about grants, and grants been really helpful. But the latest thing I did was training is very important. Okay, and you know, you want officers to be safe on the street. So they have this class called Street Survival. It's a national class, and you know, it really costs to get here. So what I did was I went to UL, and the Light Center. They let me use the Light Center, and we was able to get somebody's coming down on March 20th and I think 20 and 21st. It's a Monday and Tuesday. It might be 21st and 22nd. And we charge a very minimal fee to get the officers here, but we wanted officers throughout Louisiana, you know, to go to this particular class. So we at last count, we have 105 officers right now that will be coming down for the class. So it's showing that a marshal office can do training, can be a lead. You know, in the past, it was only the sheriff or the city. You know, that was unheard of, that the marshal can bring that many people to a major class. And we're doing that. And in doing that, not only do we help train, but we also are making money from the class. And the money we make is going towards our community events.
Okay.
So now we can cook, now we can donate to different projects, we can do different things. You know, you have to have dollars to do those things. So, you know, I'm very innovative. I think of a lot of things and that we can do to change the dynamics of a marshal's office. So I guarantee you, I have 6 years, and believe me, I am running again. Just look, for sure, 100%. But you know, by the time that I finish my first term, I guarantee you that, you know, one of the things, and I brought this because I always, I have my vision. And my vision is Lafayette City Marshal's Office vision. And I talked to my officers about this. The vision for the Lafayette City Marshal's Office is to become the best marshal's office in the nation. Okay, nation, that's huge. To achieve this, we must work and build together as a team.
Right.
Okay, and I put that around the office. I talked to my people about it. And when I first said as a nation, they looked at me like, it's in the nation? Yeah, are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding. We're gonna be accredited, and there is no other marshal's office that going to be accredited. You know, we're bringing classes and training in that no other marshal's office doing. We're doing grants that nobody else is doing. You know, we are adding to we're doing an SRO program that was unheard of. You know, you have marshal's office that have maybe one DARE officer, but not an SRO program.
Right.
So we're doing that, and it's just things that we're doing that when I say in the nation, I'm serious about that. And I guarantee you at the end of my 6 years, I'll be able to actually tell you that we're the best in the nation because of A, B, C, and D. Right now, I'm at A, B, C, and I'm going to go all the way down the list because I'm going to get to where I want to be at. And I think that's where we're heading to.
Well, anybody try to take this proven leadership you have from you, I think they're going to be a dummy. I really think that they're going to be a dummy because, you know, that's what leadership is, taking the lead, going forward and making things happen, you know? And if you're just going to get in office and sit in your chair right back, you understand me, just let it go just the way it want to go, it ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
You know, you got good leadership. You know, I seen it before you became city marshal. You know, under Joe Rubidoux, you was interim chief. Huh? I seen it there, and Toby Aguilar. Yeah, you and Toby.
Yes, I was deputy chief for like 4 years.
You and him worked very good together. So you know, now, you know. You riding that mechanical bull.
I got it.
Yeah, you got it, you know. And I feel you're doing a wonderful job. I don't hide that from you. When I see you on the street, keep campaigning.
Hey, look, I owe you lunch. I always tell you, look, we go to lunch. Now, I have taken one time to lunch, but I owe you about 8 lunches already. So we got to do lunch real soon, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't bother you because I'm retired, you know, and I don't have nothing to do but watch TV, take care of me, and ride around, you know. But I know you're busy, so whenever, you know, you can have another jambalaya there.
Oh, yeah, I definitely will do that. And let me say this, with these two gentlemen sitting right here with me, without people like y'all in the community, okay, and without the voice, you know, people think that, you know, why Wireless, why I see them always doing this, doing that, is to make changes. And, you know, we talked a little bit about you asking me to be on that board. And we coming out after that board was completed, we came out with a black chief.
Yeah.
Okay, that nobody never thought that would happen or anything like that. But it's just things like that that y'all do, and when y'all get behind somebody or y'all get behind an idea or something, and you make that idea come to
reality.
Relevant. Because if not, then guess what? Nothing will move. So I encourage people all the time, if you're thinking about running for office, run for office.
Right.
Whether you win, lose, draw, or whatever. But what you have done is you have opened the door for somebody else that next time they're going to say, well, let's try it, let's do that, let's do that. And one of the things that I hope that happens, that I hope I can do, is that I can open doors for people, or show, and also mentor kids and show them that, hey, listen, with education, with determination, anything is possible.
Right.
So stay on the right path, and anything is possible. And I think I'm showing that, and I'm gonna continue to show that in the future.
Oh yeah, when I was coming up, I didn't have one of these, and you couldn't tell me I was gonna have one, because it was hard for us to get a calculator.
Yes.
And Lafayette, coming up in Lafayette, and the how you call it, Keith? Racism.
Critical race theory.
Yeah, critical race theory. That was bad here at one time. For Louisiana, period. And now everything is quietening down a little bit, not as much as it should be, because it shouldn't even be that. Everybody should try to get along regardless. And that's what I like about you. You could talk to anybody. You could talk to anybody. And you're not cruel with them. You might tell them, wait a minute, I'll be right back. And walk around and come back. But hey, I can't thank you enough for being all that you are.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate it, and I appreciate it coming from you. And I'm just glad that I have you, that I know that y'all have my back. A lot of times you have to hope, and you say to yourself, well, I'm going to run again, and I hope well, guess what? I can call and say, hey, look, on this date, this is where I'm going to be at, or whatever the case may be. And I feel y'all feel the same way about me. If y'all call for something, I'm going to be there. If I can't be there, I'm going to send somebody to be there. So, and I feel that way about the community, that we have to work in our community. That's the only way we're going to see change.
Right.
We won't see change sitting on the sideline or anything like that. And that's why I constantly encourage people that if you have an idea, if you see something that's not right, then guess what? Go change it. I'm not going to say 100% you're going to change it every time, but your word means something, and somebody's going to have to answer to you. And you can encourage other people to get behind you. And if you do that, I think the community will be a better place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We ain't got that much time left.
So we gonna let the marshal take time to
give a closing statement.
Yeah, anything he had expressed that he want to express.
Well, my closing statement is very simple, is that you're going to see a marshal's office that's the best in the nation. And I know that's saying some big things, but I mean that, and I'm measuring it towards other marshal's office that I see in the nation. Marshals are big in Louisiana and in Texas area, and even Washington, D.C. has marshals, and constables are the same as a marshal, same situation. So one of the things you're going to see is a marshal that's doing things that other marshals haven't thought about doing, if you want me to be honest with you. And that comes back from my law enforcement experience. Being in law enforcement at a police department for about 28 years like I was, I've learned so much, I've went to command level classes, graduated from the FBI Academy, did things that other people did not want to do, did not want to leave home to do. So I bring all that experience, I bring a will, I bring the love of the community, and I won't feel simply because the last thing I would do is let anybody down who voted for me. I look at it like this. the people that did not vote for me, I want to show you that, hey, I am the best, and I'm the marshal for everybody, not just the marshal for the people that voted for me.
Right.
So if when I run again, hopefully I don't have anybody running, but if somebody runs against me or something like that, then guess what? I want to be able to say that, look, Marshal Reggie Thomas brought this agency, and it is the best in the nation, and this is why. And right now, we're building on that, and I think right now in Louisiana, we're on top. You know, just to give you an example, the Marshals having a conference in April, the Marshals Association. They contact me, and they want me to do a 2-hour presentation on going how to make your marshal's office the best. And, you know, I'm doing a PowerPoint, and I'm going to talk about just the things that we have done. And you think about it, they think of me in less than, it's been, I'm on my 3rd year now, so they think of me in that little time as being the best marshal's office they have saw. So they want me to do that class, and that just shows you where we're at, you know. I'm the vice president already of the Marshals Association. Next year I will be the president, and the conference will be in Lafayette. So, you know, I'm the person that don't sit to the back. You know, I have a lot of ideas, and I think the ideas that the other marshals in Louisiana is seeing that, hey, they're doing something special over here, and we want to be a part.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had many kittens, but she knew what to do. We will alter and fix them and love them, she said, and kiss them so sweetly and give them a bed. We thank that old woman who lived in a shoe. She rescued those kittens, as you can do too. Our city welcomes a safe cat population with help and support from you and Spay Nation.
I am what hunger looks like in America.
I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs,
and that's still not enough to put food on the table.
I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?